Okay, so I've been trying to make this video for the past week. I've had many technical issues as usual, I've rewritten segments numerous times, but this video here is what I've settled on. To start, an apology. I've recently had a lot of little things build up over the last few months that have been slipping through the cracks of this channel, and a couple weeks back it's started to really come out. For context, the release of my Undertale map trailer update was hit with acclaim, and my annoyance was blown out of proportion due to a family conflict that had been running all day, which around that time I was being dragged into despite contributing very little to it. Yes, I am open about inner conflicts on this channel, but that night I admit I went too far, erasing a boundary I have tried to maintain and possibly worrying you all that I was in a worse state than I really was. Things have been resolved now, except for the copyright claim, which I was way too tired to dispute, but I sincerely apologise for dragging you all into something you shouldn't have been. Sorry to everyone who thought this was a real apology video, but if this was a real apology video I would have actually not taken accountability. No, what I have done is taken a break from video production and thought about things deeper. Everything has been on hold since that night, so I could regather my thoughts and think things through, and I've come to multiple conclusions of how things have gotten here. Let's start with the obvious, Burnout. Since September, I've attempted to up video production by writing a couple of videos on Nintendo that I thought I could put out in November, December respectively. The Deltarune Chapter 2 video taking around about 6 months if you think about it hard enough kind of scared me, and with encouragement from my parents I wanted to try and make a pivot to more general video game related discussion. I mean, I've had stuff in the background of Deltarune videos, it was only natural I would want to take this pivot. So I hyped up the Nintendo videos for a few weeks. I just want to remain transparent as possible on my production process through the community tab. However, not transparent enough to show that as October went on, I realised I was overbooking myself on content, because Undertale's 10th anniversary had also come around and I wanted to do a video in celebration, and I think you can work out what kind of happened here. I had 4 videos in the pipeline throughout October, and then the Sticky Piston offer came around, plans got reduced heavy due to dips in motivation to actually make this video, and even though I had done a lot of stuff on the map, I just settled for a remake of the trailer from March 2024. Not my favourite move, but back to the Burnout part, I think that it was obvious that the move of upping video production was a bad idea. As much as I thought I wanted to make these Nintendo videos that would bridge the gap and test less project-based videos, they ended up being a sort of in-the-moment thing that fizzled out after I started balancing up with other projects, especially the idea to split the original video into 2 parts, which, for the record, was just influenced by seeing other video essays on Nintendo drama and feeling like they reflect a side of discourse that I've been on in my teen years, and really don't like. Not in defense of Nintendo or anything, it's more complicated than that. I just wanted to kind of fix that a little bit. Overall, it was a bad and ADHD-coded move to do in the reaction to people online, and that's kind of what started to burn me out on everything. There are likely other reasons for my burnout. Even now when I'm trying to start back up again, I've had to change some of the ways I make videos due to irritating technical issues, but if I were to link another reason for my burnout, it would probably be conflict with university. Yes, we're back in that hole. So you can tell I study computer science because I have a crippling caffeine addiction that I am maintaining right when I'm recording this video. Anyway, university has kind of mutated throughout the past month. I've been breaking my back over 3 other projects that needed to be handed in on the exact same day, almost, and I've come home after dark every day of the past week with so little energy that I spent the days I didn't come home after 10 playing Silksong. The days I did come home after 10 were because I've had Halloween parties and stuff. Look, when you filter out an obligation to a Minecraft project you've been working on for over a year, you end up in some weird situations. With my mind away from thinking about what I could be doing on here, I was actually able to get those programs finished with no bother. Well, unless you consider the nightmare that is testing any computer program, but that's outside of this channel's scope. I'm not trying to say I want to leave this channel for programming or other things, or vice versa, because I still have a passion for most of the stuff I cover even when it's Minecraft content, and I also still have a passion for video games. But I think the multiple project stuff was getting to a point where it was eating at my brain whenever I was doing actual work, causing me to see this channel as more of an obligation than something I could do on the side of my work. I kinda blame this on the channel getting monetized. It may have gone to my head a little bit in the latter part of September. That conflict really took away from the intention of why I do this in the first place, to express that love for video games that I have and contribute to their fandoms in my own twisted way. Make it about monetization, and the end result is a content mill where I make stuff just to make money. Like, kinda losing that along the way. I remember reading the comments saying that this is kinda like what happened with my TikTok, which I kind of agree with. And it was a good thing that I'm now able to recognize that and try and stop that from happening before it actually does happen. But then we get to the inner conflicts that have been on my mind during this whole crisis period. In other words, insecurity. Now, I know I started introducing subtext in the Deltarune Chapter 1 video, and it did end up being a success. But I like to think that since August, my videos have grown more about that subtext, the feelings that I have while making the project, and less about the projects themselves. Basically, video essays clickbaited as done Minecraft content, which, I do listen to a lot of video essays while I build, up until the end of Chapter 2 for reasons I don't want to get into. If there were any issues with that kind of content, I trust my likes dislikes to reflect that, but my worry is about what they say about me, because I go into these parts with the intention of coming out with some growth, but I'm not really sure anymore on what it's actually doing for growth. Like, I don't know if this channel or the content is helping me overcome my insecurities, and I feel like if it's not doing that, then that subtext becomes more performative than anything. Especially how over the few months leading up to that crash out, things grew exponentially. I had an entire event piece about being exhausted from social media and bad fandom experiences I did not have to bring into this channel. I don't need to tell you that since then things on social media have gotten a whole lot worse, and I don't need to tell you what may have caused this. It's another regret that I have on making things more about me to the detriment of what I make, because when all I've got are these insecurities under my belt, it stops being subtext of the project and starts being an elaborate trauma dump from someone who, to viewers, will come off as a ticking time bomb. Now, it may sound like I'm being dramatic, but this stuff, particularly the time bomb part, has been compounded by fears of falling into the darker ends of social media that prey on these insecurities. We all know they exist. It's why I've left all my social medias except for this one, because I feel like that with these insecurities intact, I've always one post away from saying something someone will pull up years later against me, and I will regret for the rest of my existence just like so many other people do. There's so much baggage I'm carrying from these insecurities, and if they go unchecked and I don't start doing something about them, then I know for a fact things will go bad very quickly, and the result will be a channel without the passion and just another trash channel where you get a front row seat to the self-destruction of another human being. But this is where we start to pull ourselves out of this hole, because when I was thinking where do we go from here, a familiar game showed itself. I had this part cut from the Deltarune Chapter 2 video about all the games that have made me emotional and mainly have made me cry by the end of it, and that list was at 4. It has now risen to 5, and the game that has just recently been added to it is a little game, I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Undertale. I said in that Chapter 2 video that an impact from a game comes when you least expect it, so imagine how dumbfounded I was when I replayed Undertale for that anniversary update, and it still hit as hard, arguably harder, when I got to the end of a True Pacifist run and all of those True Pacifist end credits just came blazing across the screen. I just stopped halfway through and just broke at the sheer humanity I felt from those credits, and that's when I realized Passion is the key to getting me out of the depths of insecurity. So with that idea about maintaining the theme of passion along with the desire to explore a new direction of general video game related content, I conducted a small idea experiment. I wrote down every video idea I could muster up, which being ADHD and whatnot, this was an easy task. Like lifting a weight I've had of the sheer number of things I just want to make stuff on when not tied exclusively to Minecraft content. I didn't categorize these ideas into 3 tiers. Short videos, videos I see taking a short time, maybe a few weekends to research, write and put out, small topics that could be covered without a heavy amount of thought. Long videos, videos that I would need to take my time on, requiring heavy research and thought put into things, likely about a complete piece of media that demands my full fixation for maximum quality. And lastly, project videos, like reimagining Deltarune. They would involve an external creation, mostly in Minecraft, and along with everything else, days would need to be allocated for the development of the project and other factors in its creation. And with all that considered, here is the finished list. Obviously I've had to cross out the names as to not spoil what they're actually about, but you can get a good idea of a trend in these ideas. I came to around 11 potential videos, 8 of which have not been discussed on this channel before. To sum up how I categorised them, only 2 were ones I was confident in being quick with, and those ones I was really clutching for. The 6 long video ideas, those were the ones I have the most clear visions for, and are the ones I will likely put the most effort into if they end up making it onto the channel. I still have 3 massive projects I want to do, 2 being Minecraft ones, and 1 being a special one involving Graph Theory in the game that I will not spoil, but let me just say it is my nerdiest idea for a video yet. Speaking of 3 massive projects, there's always something comforting about number 3, 3 courseworks, 3 video ideas, 3 projects. Why does everyone always give up after 3? My takeaways from that idea experiment is that my desire to make more frequent videos will definitely be at conflict with my desire to make more videos with that passion for video games that I'm trying to get back. And if I had to choose, it would be the passion route, honestly. If that means videos will slow down and this channel will sink into the back of the mind, then that is something I'm willing to do, because even if I lose the time as I make my way into the more business end of the university course I'm doing, it shouldn't take away the creativity I want to express here. That's how you fix your insecurities, at least I hope. I mean, I can't guarantee anything yet, I can't guarantee that nothing will change as we approach the end of the year, but I want to leave things at a positive outlook for this channel, something more positive than whatever the hell I've been feeling throughout the past few months. So with that pivot to Video Game Hope Call, which is what I'm calling it, decided on what happens now and how am I going to focus on healing and making sure stuff like what happened at the end of October doesn't happen again. Well, first off, I need to finish the Deltarune Chapter 3 project before the end of the year. I know I said I wanted to take my time with videos, but first off, I've already started writing it as a Christmas special, which, I mean, considering the holdovers came out in January in the UK, I mean, I think a delay wouldn't hurt it too bad. But I also think that the best and most natural way I can soft reboot things on the channel is to bring the themes of this year's Deltarune videos to a close before the end of the year. And Christmas for the past few years has been my sort of climax period where I come to a personal conclusion for events that have defined my year, and I think closing this chapter then will be the most satisfying place to do so. Also, as a compromise for the subtext part, I'm thinking of putting together another chill compilation of builds just like the Undertale one, you know, just so there's a way to watch the build without everything surrounding the build process. Yes, it may be free unmonetized views of the channel, but again, I think it's counterproductive to care about that stuff when all you really care about is making your builds more accessible. And then after that, I think I'll come back to Minecraft in a different style if I have time next year, but I'll ultimately be putting focus on one of these videos at a time to avoid burnout and conflicts of university. I'm thinking of doing a poll at the end of the week on the games I'm thinking of doing videos on, but without the topic it surrounds, just to not only gain some viewer input on this, but to also keep things interesting. Yes, the nerdy graph theory won't be a part of that selection, so good luck working out which game that'll be on. And that's basically it for this update. I apologise once again for the uncertainty in projects I've been doing over the past year. To be honest, I'm in a pretty weird place right now. I mean, I'm turning 20 next month and coming to the crossroads of pursuing my creativity here, or getting a real job in video games, which is its own can of worms. It's times like these where you just appreciate the following you've grown over the past couple of years, and although I still have that boundary up between viewer and creator, I'm grateful I'm able to say I have a following that at least enjoys what I make, and I hope I can continue to do that in the future, even if I need to change things to make that possible. I don't want to make any more bold claims about where things are going, so let's just find out together and see where this crazy arc will end. Thank you for watching all the way through if you did, and I will see you next time.